to move 6 points clear. City now play the next 2 games. So, Thierry, we talked right to the top of the show about how relaxing it was to watch Arsenal. So what was different about them in this game?
The way they went about it, again, we talked about that 4-4-2 flat. And I like to see when you play against 2 strikers that you build with a back three, with one of your midfielder going to drop and the other one staying, as I will show here. This is, as you're going to see, Arsenal against Fulham. This time, those are your 2 holding. Lewis-Skelly is going to go in between, right now, the 2 centre-back. Declan Rice, very important. You see him going there. Why? Because he needs to neutralize Lukic and Reed. They create that shape, triangle. If he goes there, he becomes a diamond. And with only Declan Rice here, you neutralize that. So then you can free your centre-back on the outside, as you will see here. But it's very important for him to stay here because he can attract those guys. And then, if you ever, as you're going to see here, ball's going to arrive to Saliba. When he's going to drive, what you need to have, Eze wanted to go down. Mikel Arteta asked him to go higher. Now you have 6 players behind that line of pressure of Fulham. So you can clearly see the 4 and the 6. And what you want to do is to make sure that you can pass that ball in between the lines to have an impact. Ball's going to go on the other side. They cannot at that moment go on him. Ball could have gone to Gyökeres. That's the first way of beating it on the switch. Okay? Ben White receives the ball. Now you reverse it. Declan Rice goes in between. Same thing. Lewis-Skelly. Arteta tell Ben White to go there. You're going to see the same exact picture. Being brave. 4, 6. Again, you're trying to free this guy to go forward and see what that line is going to give you. Another way to beat it, this time ball is going to go, as you can see here, you attract inside to make sure that they stay there. Now, the ball is going to go back to Saliba. Saliba is going to be brave. Chukwueze is going to overcome. Lukic is going to overcome. Now you can find Eze. Eze didn't get the ball, as we all know, but that's what they're trying to do. So ball on the ground now to beat that shape. And what I like that day is Gyökeres was active. This guy was outstanding, getting the ball, turning, going forward, being brave with the shape, being brave also that Mikel Arteta played him as a holding midfielder there. He's getting the ball back, and you end up with a shot. Now, different, because you give them in, diagonal, Reed is coming. He's trying to read if the pass is going to go there. Wilson is daydreaming. Gabriel sees that. Ball's going to go anywhere to Declan Rice. Now you get beaten by someone driving the ball. Eze is coming. You have runners, and you can free your winger in a 1v1 situation. They were brave. They were going forward. Yes, we all know here that Bukayo Saka is not going to win his battle.
Thierry, I want to ask you a couple of things on this. I'm thinking of tomorrow night, one of the biggest probably games not in Arsenal's history, but certainly for a long time. And I think of Atletico Madrid, normally play with 2 strikers.
Yes.
Do you think this will be the way they set up tactically tomorrow? We will see what we've seen here, almost like a dress rehearsal for tomorrow in some ways.
I think if you want to beat that press, or you want to be more comfortable, especially when you go up, or Declan Rice stays, or Lewis-Skelly stays, whether he goes there or he goes and put pressure, so you're well balanced. We call that obviously offensive balance. Is going to have to do that. It's a game that you need to win.
Another thing, obviously, you've been involved in coaching, managing teams. I think there's 3 pieces tonight we've all highlighted how you're trying to build up against a 4-4-2 or 2 strikers. I mean, if I flip it and you're the team defending in a 4-4-2, how would you sort of counteract that?
Well, I had to deal with it once playing against Inter Miami in the MLS with Montreal. We let the guy in the middle have the ball, and we split the centre back, the centre forward on the 2 outside centre back. Those are the guys making you leave, as you saw. They came out with Gabriel and they came out with Saliba. Let the guy in the middle have the ball, man mark in the middle, and if they switch the play, you can always arrive on time. But if you follow this centre back and this centre back, we both go and they free him, you're dead, you can't go.
Yeah.
He's going to drive, he's going to hurt you.
Like we showed in the Brentford, they
Exactly that. So
centre-back.
split the strikers, leave that guy have the ball, and let's see if he's going to go inside. If he goes inside and adventurous and miss a pass, I'm already now, as a striker, I'm on the inside to make a run while you open up. Do you understand what I mean? Because the one in the middle drives in. So that's what I would have played it.
I'm fascinated, Thierry, by Mikel Arteta's sort of thought process going into this. He's had a lot of criticism, despite the fact that they are, they've been in the top of the league pretty much all season. The Champions League semi-finals, successive seasons, the second time round. But to come up with this as a plan at this really tense, crucial stage of the season, which feels like it's almost taken the handbrake off, to coin a sort of Arsenal phrase.
Look, you don't wait for a title to land in your hands. You have to go and get it. You have to go and get it, especially when City are chasing. Simple as that. And then I want to talk about Lewis-Skelly, because I thought, like everybody, Declan Rice was outstanding once again, but Miles was just different. I didn't see Zubimendi do that often. The legs, anticipation, going, stopping someone, boom. Making someone feel that you're there. He was there all the time, and yes, he was there on the ball. I like particularly this one because he can see that Declan Rice is going to go there. He can see that there is a little gap. He goes like, okay, I need to stay with Smith Rowe. Okay, I'm going to stay with Smith Rowe. I'm going to do my job. He wasn't only there to play or turn on people. Now Gabriel is going to look at it and go, you can leave him. Try to see what you can do higher. You're going to see. They're going to stay. They're going to stay. At one point, Gabriel, with his left arm, is going to tell him, or his right arm is going to tell him to go. Exactly. You can go. Now, what can I do higher? Boom. I win the ball. Yes, that's what he did the whole day. And this one, Jamie, we played with guys that turn a counter into a counter. I will explain. As you see him here, okay, Arsenal is on the ball. Boom. Arsenal loses the ball. He's going to go, wait and see, what can I do on read? Okay. He's going to turn, if you roll it slowly, he's going to turn and see where Declan Rice is in and around once. Now he sees that Declan Rice is going with this player. He says, I need to intercept that ball, because if that ball goes to Smith Rowe, you have a 4v4. Now, he intercepts the ball. Next thing you know, that's what great players do. You stop a counter and you make it a counter. You stop a 4v4, suddenly you have a 4v3. Not only he was good on the ball, he was good on reading the ball, stopping, going to get it. He played really well, and that was brave all over the place with Arsenal. Apart from, I will say, the first 10 minutes, and I will go into that because I'm still because I'm still not done with Lewis-Skelly. So here, as you can see, that's Lewis-Skelly. Saliba is out. Ben White is going. As you will do as a holding midfielder, Aste as a centre-back. Saliba gives the ball to Ben White. We all know Ben White's going to get the ball, almost full, loses it. He goes into that position, secures the position, passes it to Ben White, and Ben White even panics. He didn't panic. He was where he's supposed to be, and he was where he's supposed to be the whole afternoon.
Thierry, I think you've been calling for a while for Mikel Arteta. We know he's done a great job, but maybe it's time to show a bit of courage.
Yes.
And it feels like he showed courage in putting Lewis-Skelly in there.
Yes.
Do you think that courage will continue on the back of that performance? Not just Lewis-Skelly, by the way. Declan Rice's performance, I thought, playing a little bit deeper than probably what we've seen. That happened midweek in the first leg. Do you think he'll show similar courage and go with that same midfield two tomorrow night, or bring Zubimendi back?
I don't know, because of the magnitude of the game, he's going to think a bit more secure. But this guy showed that that might be a new position for him in terms of next season. He did extremely well. I wouldn't mind if he starts him. But then I can understand, because of the magnitude of the game and how Zubimendi plays, sometimes you need a tiny bit be more secure. We will see. But in this game, he was brave.
And we will come back to your analysis in just a second, Thierry. We've been asking on the Fanalysis app about Lewis-Skelly, and he has made the team of the week. As you see in that midfield with Conor Gallagher and Anton Stach of Leeds United, also Bukayo Saka in there as well. We'll come to him in just a moment. But we asked Arsenal fans a specific question about Lewis-Skelly, and relating to what you just posed Thierry yourself, Jamie. But this is the question: who should start in the midfield for Arsenal tomorrow? So this is asking the Arsenal fans on the Finalysis app, and that is the answer they have gone with. 59% want to see Miles Lewis-Skelly continue in that midfield for Arsenal, which would be quite something for a player who has featured so little this season to suddenly emerge. And this does happen, I'm sure. It does happen in other seasons for other teams when someone's had to be really patient on the sidelines, then gets their opportunity and absolutely grabs it. But a word on how patient he has been already, Thierry, and had to be.
Not only that, he was ready. It's one thing to be patient. It's one thing to maybe be upset about the situation, but he was ready. He didn't look like he didn't play for a very long time. He controlled the game. He went forward. He bossed the game at times. That's outstanding. And don't underestimate experience, though. Do not underestimate experience in this type of games. But would I like to see him on Tuesday or tomorrow? Obviously, yes. Why not? But Mikel Arteta is the coach.
And he's got some decisions to make in the wide areas as well, Thierry,
Yes.
after what you saw on Saturday. Talk us through the wingers.
So I go back to what I said. That's the only thing that I would say that I was a bit at the beginning upset with. So we go back to the same thing. Look, back three, Miles Lewis-Skelly, you have the same shape. You got the point already. Look at it. Saliba realized that Eze is alone. Now that ball is going to go to Bukayo Saka. Okay? Play your 1v1. Chop, go down the line. We saw Nuno Mendes suffering against Michael Olise on the outside. For me, a good dribbler has to beat his man on the outside. It's too easy to go back inside and play a 1-2. And also you have a guy that's dying, to get the ball in the 6-yard box. Not in the box, in the 6-yard box. Yes, Leandro Trossard went in and had a go on target. Okay, I get it. Same thing here. We're being brave. Same shape. Miles Lewis-Skelly gets the ball, and I love that about him on the day. He went forward with it. I mean, it's an obvious one. Same thing. You're in a 1v1. Play it. I was watching the game, and I'm like, just go. Have a go. Lose, fall, do something. Ball goes back. Those are the type of things tomorrow and till the end of the season that you're not supposed to do. Play the ball forward. Once again, you play your 9, you go to Ben White. Boom. You have another 1v1. Play it.
Thierry, is that down to the player, or do you think that's a coaching issue? We talk about even Pep at times saying, do his wide players just keep the ball? If you were in that situation, you played for Pep Guardiola, and we've probably not criticised Pep, but mentioned about Jack Grealish playing safe. Would you just take your 1v1?
Yeah, I took the risk at time, and the boss wasn't happy, but I'd rather die than not play my 1v1. I'd rather you to get the ball off me. I'd rather anything than not play it. But then it changed. It did change. That's early doors in the game, and it can happen. Maybe Bukayo didn't play also for a little while.
Yeah.
With his Achilles, he didn't feel it also. Maybe they were trying to secure something. For me, if we take the risk to build in a 3, 1, and 6, and we go through the team, and we free you in the 1v1, and you pass the ball back, I'll pass it back. Go. What are you doing? Go play your 1v1. Okay, then we're going to see the evolution of it. Why? Because we have a guy that lives in the 6-yard box. He doesn't live even in the box. I say it, I repeat myself. And unfortunately, that happened to Jimenez. And I didn't care. You know why? Because I was like, yes, Bukayo, the ball arrived. You realized it. You squared your man. And he did something that's very important, all the wingers out there. By lifting his hand when he's about to pretend to cross the ball, he made it real. He made it real. And then that's where Gyökeres wants the ball. Yes, hey, lifting his right arm. Yes, you're going to believe that. He turned Jimenez into a breakdancer from the 80s. Now you dislodge things. You can cross that ball in between the defender and the goalkeeper. And then we all know, obviously, what happened after that. That's what I wanted to see from Bukayo. That's what we need to see from Bukayo tomorrow until the end of the season. Go back to what you were. Dribble, go forward, be brave. But we all know here, the run of Gyökeres, a great ball from Eze. And what I like here with Gyökeres is how he turns straight away. You're not going to check me. Okay, I turn. Now you can see the run of your winger. And yes, again, assist and goal. That's the Bukayo Saka we want to see tomorrow and up until the end of the season and next year. Again, beat your man on the outside. But very important here. A lot of coaches will tell you, do not pass that ball. It's risky. But the reward is in the risk. He took the risk. Wilson, if he was a bit more in, would have maybe taken the ball and we would have talking about it's a stupid pass. Why did you play that pass? But because the pass was kind of an in-between pass, that made Gabriel go forward. Everybody went forward, as you see here. Now you play your 1v1. I don't want to see that ball back or try to see what we can do. Play on the outside. Look at the man up top, number 14. All he's waiting for is that ball in the second post, almost in the 6-yard box, to be able to score. They were brave. Mikel Arteta was brave. Bukayo Saka became a bit braver a tiny bit after. And the big man now, if you feed him in a 6-yard box, he will score. So I was very happy by that.
So sometimes you, especially in these tense moments, you need someone who can light the spark, can't you? And obviously Manchester City we watched tonight have got Ryan Cherky, who can do that job very well for City under Guardiola, and doesn't seem to have those constraints that some of those other players that have been under Pep. Could Bukayo Saka be that guy coming back at this time of the season? Could he be the guy to just spark all of those other players around him, including Gyökeres?
Defensively, you defend as a unit. Offensively, in the last third, it's about you and what you're about to do, your brain, your creativity. I cannot tell you to shoot when you need to shoot. I cannot tell you to dummy someone. It comes naturally, but be brave with it. Miss, go again. That's very important. And you can see Ryan Cherky, you mentioned Ryan Cherky. Ryan Cherky is like that. He needs to do also sometimes what Pep asking him to do, the pressure, don't go too low, stay higher. But yes, when you're in this type of situation, if a team is working really hard and take the risk to send 6 and stay 4 at the back to free you in a 1v1 situation, your duty is to make it happen like we saw with Michael Olise against Nuno Mendes.
Is this a different Arsenal now that we're watching, do you think?
I saw improvements in midweek away from home. I thought they handled that away from home in a semi-final. Atletico Madrid. There was a 20-minute spell, second half. It was a little bit ropey, but, I've played in semi-finals away from home. They're tough. So I thought that was sort of a step forward, not so much just in the result, in the performance. And that was then a completely different level. Now, we won't know until we see Arsenal tomorrow night or next week at West Ham, whether that was down to the situation with Fulham, not at the best, a bit of a virus going around the team, but it felt like the energy was back. It didn't feel like they were under stress. And the one thing I've seen with Arsenal of late is it looked a little bit of fatigue. And don't forget, the last couple of Monday nights, we've come on it and we've looked at Arsenal's midfield. And I think he needed to do something in midfield. It's just whether he sticks with it. And maybe Zubimendi just needs a rest. He just needs a rest from that game. And maybe he comes back a little bit refreshed. But I was really worried about Arsenal's central midfield. Lewis-Skelly, as Thierry said, was fantastic. But I think a big thing for me in the last 2 games, even with Zubimendi in Madrid, was Declan Rice going deeper. There's a bit more dynamism with Declan Rice than Zubimendi in that position. He's onto things quicker. He passes it quicker.
Do you think it's a more natural position for him? Does he bring more to the team in that position?
I think Declan Rice, for me, is a complete midfield player. I think he can play the 6 and the 8. I don't think it really makes too much difference. But it almost, when I was watching him play, it almost looked like, you know when you're watching someone play and they look almost like they're really enjoying it. They're running everywhere for the ball. It was almost like, I'm back in my position in the 6 deep. I can get on the ball a little bit easier. And I thought he was outstanding at the weekend. I thought he played really well in control of the game in Madrid as well. And I think going forward, I think it's only 4 or 5 games left of the season. I think Declan in the 6, even if Zubimendi plays, just leave him there for now.
No, I just wanted to add that the way they played the other day, they played together. Declan Rice and Lewis-Skelly. I know the opposition is not going to be the same on Tuesday. That's why let's not go too quick with that, because Zubimendi has a lot of experience, as we all know. But it looked like every time they were looking at where they were, on and off the ball, and I go low. They remind me of Patrick and obviously Manu Petit.
Left foot and the right foot.
But also when one was going, one was staying. It was well synchronized. But you're not playing against Fulham tomorrow.
Hunting down a title. Tell us, Thierry, give us an insight into what Pep Guardiola will be like in these final few weeks.
I'll be pretty relaxed and cool.
Would he?
Yeah, no, he is. What he's relaxed about is when he can see his team playing the way he would like this team to play. I think he was very agitated at the beginning of the season because the balance of his team wasn't right. He went to get Semenyo and Gay to make sure that was going to be the case. He couldn't yet find a way for Ryan Cherky to be effective, and that changed since. So I think he's happy where the team is right now. But you can see he's more relaxed than when he was before, although he's chasing the title in Arsenal. But he's in a situation where he's well in the race, and let's see what they're going to do. You said earlier, and we had to play twice before they were playing. Now they have to play twice before we have to play again. So let's see what can be done.
Yeah, now pressure on Manchester City, because Arsenal have got the job done. You were there on Saturday night. Was it actually a relaxing watch for once.
For the first time, yes. This, I mean, for a long time. Let's say for not the first time. That's not true. But yeah, I was a tiny bit more relaxed. The way we went about it. Yes, we didn't play against the best team away from home this season, just like Newcastle. But against Newcastle, it wasn't the case. As you said, it was pretty nervy. Bukayo Saka looked lively again. We're going to talk about it later on. And yes, if you can feed this guy that just scored right now in the 6-yard box, he can, do the job for you.
That he absolutely did, and great for Arsenal to have Bukayo Saka back in the team and Miles Lewis-Skelly playing a key role in midfield, and no wonder. That is such a wide smile from Mikel Arteta. Now they think about their Champions League semi-final second leg, and as we keep on saying, it's now over to City with 2 games in this title race before Arsenal play against West Ham on Sunday. So, Jamie, how do you see this picture now? Are these 2 games coming up for Manchester City ones you feel you would expect them to ease through, or do you think there is jeopardy on them?
I wouldn't expect to ease through tonight. I'd expect them to win. But when you look at the situation, Arsenal had Fulham at home, a game you'd probably expect them to win. I thought there might be a little bit more jeopardy on it, the fact that it was between the 2 Champions League games, but, Arsenal were fantastic. But if they can get out of this weekend, Manchester City, they win their tough away game, it then flips it. Where then you look at Brentford at home for City and you look at West Ham away for Arsenal.
So win those next 2, do you think suddenly the pressure is back on Arsenal?
Oh, yeah. I think if you're asking a lot of people right now, of course, Arsenal would be favourites to get the points in the bag. But then that would completely flip if they've got to go into that West Ham game and the level on points, same games. Who knows how many goals will have been racked up by Pep Guardiola's team.
You agree with that?
It was always my worry. I always thought that City might drop points against Everton, and my worry was West Ham away, especially after the game against Atletico Madrid, because it's or you make the final or you don't. Either way, sometimes you go a bit too high or too low with a game against a team that's trying to stay up. So that was always my worry when I saw the final schedule, the game at West Ham.
I thought it was interesting what Mikel Arteta did at half-time. Although when that game is 3-0, I thought there was maybe a chance they'd sort of win that 5 or 6. It felt like that was on.
What did it tell you?
No, maybe they're identifying the Burnley game at home where they feel if this is going to come down to goal difference and we keep winning, that is a game we can really attack. And maybe he was thinking of the bigger picture in terms of Saka, Atletico Madrid, something like that. But I think there would have been a real fear there in Manchester City watching that game and thinking this could be 5 or 6 here, and that could almost blow us out the water in terms of goal difference and goals scored.
That was the perfect scenario, wasn't it, for Arsenal?
I mean, just Saka, what a player he is, by the way. You've got to get him. I think every team needs their star players, and we've seen that, obviously. I think having Saka back, can they find a way to get Timber back? The defence is there. They've got the best defence. They've got the goalkeeper. Gyökeres is starting to come good, obviously. Declan playing a little bit deeper, which I like. I think he's brilliant in there. And you know what it was? A bit like we spoke before. I think the most important thing is not tactics. It's energy. It felt like the energy in the stadium and from the players, they actually believed. Had a bit of confidence, got a big win last time out, and it feels like all of a sudden now that doubt is gone away, and they say, right, if we're gonna go down swinging, and they look like they believe, and if they play like they did in that game against Fulham, they should win it, especially with the remaining fixtures.
And Victor Gyökeres has had plenty of stick, Tim, this season. He's got 21 goals in all competitions, 14 in the Premier League. At just the right time, he is finding the net for Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, and he gets a lot of criticism for only scoring against the smaller teams, but you've got to beat them teams. There's a lot of times teams look at this little genius. Look, that is Owen's absolutely right. You need him back to full fitness. He looks like he's sharp. It looks like he's really benefited from a couple of weeks off, but he gets his body in there, he tries to hold, he does his best at what he does, and this is what he loves. He loves that open space. As soon as the left back vacates that area, he will spin into there, and that's what he holds it up. But I think this is clever from him. Looks to get his head up there, and he almost makes Saka's mind up. Oh, in you go, and then and leaves the rest up to the little fella who just twists and turns and just smashes that past the goalkeeper. I like him. I like Gyökeres. I don't think he's the answer. I think he might be the answer for them to win the league this season. I think he will get better as well. But I think if you want to maintain and continually to win the Premier League, I think you need a little bit better than him. That header, by the way, was outstanding. He could have got a hat-trick. He has turned up on some occasions, just kept going. I like players who get criticised. You know, it's not plain sailing all the time. There's obstacles in the way, but he rolls up his sleeves and tries to prove people wrong. And I think he's going the right way about it. If they win the Premier League, he's been a great signing.
So, Owen, Arsenal have a 6-point lead, and we'll look at the run-in fixtures for Arsenal and Manchester City. City have to go to the Hill Dickinson for the first time on Monday night. Obviously, the Atletico Madrid second leg semi in there for Arsenal as well. Palace on the final day away, Villa at home for City. Are we going all the way?
Well, let's be honest. Arsenal are going to win their games, and they got very winnable games. So they could potentially win the Premier League and maybe even the Champions League. That is some statement. The only thing I would say first, this is probably going to come down to goal difference.
You think?
Yeah, I think it will. Yeah.
And at the moment, Arsenal,
it's in Arsenal's favour.
A 4 superior, as you can see there.
Exactly, and that's why every game is so important that Arsenal tries to score in 3 and 4 like they did against Fulham. We know City are going to do that. City's game tomorrow at Everton is massive. If they can find a way to win and put 2 or 3 goals past Everton, then they put themselves back in the driver's seat. But if I look at Arsenal in those games, West Ham, Burnley, Crystal Palace, they got to be thinking in every game, we not only win energy, we got to score 3 or 4. If they do that, the title will be theirs.
So, some of the other factors as well. Obviously, Burnley relegated. I don't know how much difference you think that would make. The fact that they're down or shackles off might work against Arsenal. Obviously, Crystal Palace as well. Last game of the season, they could be and probably will be in that Conference League final. Yeah. And Manchester City, Tim, on the other side of the page, Bournemouth away, Iraola's last home game. He's going to want to go out with a bang. And the fact that they're chasing Champions League and look no further than David Moyes.
Yeah, one game at a time, and that's probably the most difficult. Along with the Bournemouth game away, you're quite right. Areola, his teams play excellent anyway. But if he wants to, he's going to send them off on a high. But I think that game at Everton is crucial. If they could take maximum points there, take a lot of confidence in that. I just think sometimes your games come at the right time. The toughest game is West Ham. Obviously, they're fighting to stay in the Premier League for Arsenal. So that's going to be tough. That won't be easy. I'm not sure it goes to goal difference. I think Arsenal might seal it up. It's 6 points now with 3 games left for Arsenal. I mean, it's a lot.
And everyone says this is when City really come alive. But, Pep can pull off miracles. Is this going to be one too far for him now?
Well, I think they've put themselves in a position where they can do it. And I think any team with Pep and Haaland and Bernardo Silva and Donnarumma, they should be favourites because they've been there and done it so many times. But for whatever reason, it just feels like Arsenal, let's be honest, they've been the best team pretty much the majority of the season. They just need to finish the job. They're in the driver's seat. You've got to find a way to take it.